Björn, moin.
Moin, Jan.
Good to have you here. Björn, we're in Hamburg. Hamburg is your home. You're at Zendesk. Tell us a bit more about your role at Zendesk. How long have you been there? For quite some time, I think.
Indeed.
And then we'll jump into all things AI and customer service, how Zendesk supports that, but also what's possible with AI and customer service.
First of all, thanks for the invitation.
Yeah.
I really appreciate to be here. We are at a fair. I don't know how to better describe that, in a booth, and it's absolutely exciting to be here with you. People staring at us. What are they doing here? So I feel honored to be here.
Thanks for joining us.
I am, I think, employee number 350. So I joined Zendesk 2013, and I still like it, surprisingly. I tend to do things and not shy away from difficult times or impediments that are coming across your way. So I just enjoy to be with this company, with these customers, with a product, with these partners. Really enjoy that, and this is why I can truly say that I'm not finished here.
Yeah. Very exciting. I mean, it's still day one, also for you at Zendesk. What's your role currently? What are you and your team doing with your customers?
Yeah. If you want to say it really in simple terms, we are the ones who are explaining what the customer will get. So how can we do that? We need to understand their situation. We need to learn about their processes, about their goals that they want to achieve. And we combine all of that, put it into a solution design that we can lay out in front of the customer with all of its kinks and benefits, and tell them upfront and very honest, this is what you will get. Solution consultants, as we are called, have a tendency to be very honest. They don't like to talk bullshit. And this is what I enjoy the most. So if you would ask me, can I be a car dealer? So I couldn't really. I like to tell the things by its name. And yeah, this is why I still enjoy it.
Yeah. And straight up, when somebody talks to you about Zendesk or about customer service products and technology in general, they'll get an honest opinion. We'll do that in a second. We'll talk about AI. I mean, everybody's talking about it, but getting your honest take on it will be very useful probably for many that are listening right now. Before we do that, this podcast is called Cards Against Complexity.
I've heard about that.
Yes. And we got to play those cards first. So
let's do it.
I'll get them in. Let's see. You should see them in front of you on a virtual table, and everyone else as well. So just for everyone who's listening in for the first time, Cards Against Complexity, similar concept to Cards Against Humanity. Left-hand side, we've got a sentence that you have to complete in a second. You've got three options on the right-hand side, and they might not be ideal, but ideally a bit funny, and you'll find an option in there, and we'll talk a bit about that. So you can travel back to the past and use Zendesk to support people during historical events. I mean, that's a unique chance, right? Like, we're in the tech ages, but what if we had Zendesk years ago? You pick to travel back to the 1969 moon landing with a help desk to handle questions like, how do we get back? You know, everybody sees this on TV. They call NASA. They have Zendesk in there. We've got the launch of the first iPhone, escalating tickets like, where's the physical keyboard? Why can't I use this like my good old-fashioned BlackBerry? And in ancient Rome with a contact center for gladiators to rate their Colosseum experience.
Yeah, I'm an Apple fanboy. It's the launch of the first iPhone, of course. I still, to that day, watch the keynote once in a while to just get reminded about how to do a great presentation.
So 2007, I think it's January 2007, San Francisco downtown. We've got Steve Jobs talking about the iPhone. We're sitting in the on the help desk on the service center, getting a few first questions. a great presentation, and then we got to deal with service. That's roughly when Zendesk got started, I think.
Yeah,
Around
no,
that time.
exactly 2007.
Yeah, so might have not been the perfect product or the level of product that it is today. You saw it from the very early ages. I would love to go a bit back in history before we go into the future of AI. You've seen Zendesk over the years, and you've seen the journey from, I guess, an initial product that worked for some to the market leading service solution for your customers. What's to you your like the biggest change that happened in the last years that you've seen in customer service technology?
So if I have to compare Zendesk from 2007 until now, it's probably the capabilities, the complexity that's coming with it. I mean, no wonder if you add stuff, if you add capabilities, it comes with complexity because you add more things to configure, more cogs to or wheels to turn. Mm-hmm. Overall, we as specifically I as a solution consultant back in the days, I wanted to have this capabilities that we have today. Yeah. And we were always looking for workarounds, for tips and tricks from the community. How could we do XYZ? How can we help this customer? How can we solve this complexity or this process that they are bringing towards us? Yeah, that's probably the main difference is the sheer amount of complexity. Oh no, not complexity, capabilities that was added to the product. Mm-hmm. What I'm very proud of in terms of the product is that Zendesk still has this simplification mantra still ongoing. So we really strive to keep things simple despite its complexity under the hood. Mm-hmm. Of processes that we need to solve with Zendesk. And it's also one thing I think our both solutions have in common, actually trying to simplify what is otherwise or has been very complicated to solve.
Yeah, and there's many ways in customer service that complexity shows up. I mean, with Zendesk, we see this in the customer conversation, in the type of the request that comes in customer service and employee service. 2007 during the iPhone, as today on both sides, they're humans. We've got people handling this, and then there's complex questions. There's simple questions we can answer quickly, complex questions that take a bit more time. And then there's really complex and complicated ones that even require more than just Zendesk and the follow-on organization. That's where we partner and love to work together. And now enter AI. We've got not only humans in the conversation, we've got AI. Now everybody on this trade fair is talking about AI. Zendesk has just released quite a few capabilities. Can you take us a bit through where you think AI can take us here? Like if we're not going back to 2007, but maybe forward to 2027 or further, I as a customer service leader, like what can I get from AI if it's part of my customer service?
So I want to tell a very quick story about an observation I made a few days ago when I was on site with a customer, and I was sitting next to an agent, and she didn't know that there were AI capabilities within the product, but she didn't know really how to use them. Mm-hmm. And we showed them just a simple thing like expand this answer into a more rounded up answer to the customer. She didn't know she was writing the text like in a traditional way, one word after the other, from A to Z in her whole answer. And we told her, well, delete that please again, or cut it, and so that you can use it later. And now just write keywords. Mm-hmm. And she was puzzled, but because she really didn't know that the product has these capabilities. And we told her, okay, write thanks answer, want to give you a voucher, sorry for the package damage, etc., etc. So these keywords basically. And then we told her, okay, now expand. And the result was, of course, an LLM generated full answer that she otherwise, or would otherwise take her 30 seconds, a minute to write, I don't know, and was now able to do that in 10 seconds. And the fact that is so mind-blowing still is that computers can understand us. And that fundamental shift, bringing that into customer service, where the written and spoken word are so important, is what fascinates me so tremendously, because we don't grasp the possibilities that come with it today. And when you talk about customer service in 2027, with these capabilities, and by the way, I think not only we, but every company, software company, is trying to bring in AI in more or less every step of their workflows, into their products, because of these tremendous potentials that comes with it. So the power that you have as an individual, you don't have to be an admin, you don't have to be a super technical brain, but you still can do crazy things with the tool you are using on a day-to-day basis, just by using natural voice, and the computer does things for you. I find this fascinating.
So Björn, fascinated in 2007 by the iPhone as a fanboy. Now we've got a fanboy for AI, and just the sheer potential. I mean, the simplicity as you describe it. The computer understands us, and it sits in front of us, and it actually has those features. Now, in your role, you help customers understand that. Thanks for sharing the story. What's your experience like for customer service leaders or people working in customer service today? If they want to apply this, like what's a good way to get started? Because I might maybe get the potential, but how do I get this implemented?
So the most important thing, if you take away one, and I'm looking into the camera here because everyone that's listening or watching this, the one takeaway is start using it, because you will be the laggard if you don't do that. You will be lost somewhere along the way if you don't allow your employees, your customers to get a feel for it. This is why it's so important for everyone to make start a personal relationship with this technology, because it can be frightened. I told the story because the fact that this employee of this customer call center didn't know about these capabilities was not that she didn't care or that she didn't want to use it. She simply never used it. And that hurdle needs to be overcome. It was very important for her to just see this little small step to get a first idea. Oh, great, this is what this can do. And then hopefully there grows a hunger for more, a hunger for, hey, I can get more efficient. I can streamline the stuff. I have more time for other things now that I don't have to write everything. And same for leaders. They need to let their people do that. If you speak to leaders, many of them tell you, I have to admit it's from Silicon Valley, so they are a bit far ahead than we are. Give everyone a OpenAI or a Claude or whatever account and let them play with it. Let them organize their work, streamline their work, try to experience it. And I think that's also true, and maybe more than that for leaders, for people responsible, bringing their organization and their people into this phase of the next 10 years, where we will see, I mean, not without reason, people are talking about, will we still have customer service in 10 years? Yes, of course we will. Yeah. But it will be absolutely different from what we have today. Yeah. We don't know what it will be, but AI will certainly be a part of that.
Yeah, and we're seeing that today. Very exciting for what's to come there, and very exciting to think about that first step. Hopefully, for everyone that's listening as well. Thanks for sharing your experience there already. Now, if you look at the technology underlying this, right? Like we touched on the simple things that are possible. Like if we go a bit outside, right? The computer now understands us. The organization brings this forward. Customer service is still needed. What's the role of customer service and employees in that future? Let's say like even like 1, 2, 3 years ahead. What do I have to think about as an agent as my role, or as a customer service team as my role here?
More empathy. So and funny that I start with a very human behavior or thing or asset. More empathy. How can you achieve that, or why am I saying that? Because AI enables you to have more time for these things. And I think more than anything else, customer service in the future is enriched through various systems with information about your customer. And when I have information, when I know who I'm talking to, I can develop more and better empathy for your customer, for my customer. What does that lead to if I am a good customer service employee or the company provides a good customer service? My strong assumption is that this will be a key driver for revenue in the next 5 to 10 years. Because the differences will be vast between those companies who embrace that and those who don't. Technology, in this case, is nothing abstract anymore. It's human word. Again, I'm coming back to that. We are used to use our own language, our own words. So now that a computer is on our side to do that, we need to use that, make use of it, in order to provide a better service and be a better, more empathetic human being on the other side of the screen or telephone for whatever.
Thank you so much for sharing, Björn. Very, very exciting to see and think about the fact that what if we could have used this even in 2007? I think Steve Jobs would have been excited.
I was once, I did customer service for a content management system during the Olympics in Vancouver, Winter Olympics. And that, when you asked that question, or the card asked that question, the same emotions came up because of that time. We were all nervous. Systems had to run. Same. I remember Steve Jobs and what was the designer's name?
Steve Ivey.
Yeah, sitting there very nervous.
Johnny Ivey. Johnny Ivey. Johnny Ivey. There we go.
Johnny Ive.
Johnny Ive. There we go.
Very nervous, and that feeling, that excitement about here's something new that we're releasing, and we are the ones who are there to help customers in these first hours of the iPhone. Great feeling.
Very exciting, and I mean, enabled with AI today, I can do so much more, put so much more empathy in there. Important to get started, important to embrace that technology. Maybe think a bit about the very simple fact that computers can now understand us on any channel. We can use that, we can leverage that, and that in the end even might drive revenue. Outside of that, I think it drives a lot of excitement. I can see that in you for customer service, for the technology that can help us serve customers better. Thank you so much, Björn, for sharing your experience and your insights into, customer service in 2007 all the way to customer service today and in the future with now AI in there.
It was a pleasure, Jan.
The pleasure was all mine. Thank you.